Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk Official Podcast, where we have comfortable and uncomfortable conversations. I am your host, Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother.
All right, what's good, world? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X.
Oh man, we got a big one for y'all today, man. I actually been looking into this for quite some time since last year when it got proposed out. A lot of backlash has been going on with the Little Mermaid movie. I don't know if y'all remember that growing up. You know, Ariel, the mermaid. You know, living bottom of the sea, had a little crab friend that used to always talk that good shit. But, you know, now they're trying to transcend it to live action. You know what I'm saying? There's always that feel for live action that sometimes it lives up to the hype and sometimes it doesn't live up to the hype. But it's amazing on the subject that all of a sudden, like, because the character was portrayed as a white woman, it's a problem with her in the reality world of her being black, right? And I'm looking at it like, first of all, this shit's not real. Who gives a shit? Right? But the backlash it's getting is amazing. Like, I don't know about this, guys. They're kind of fucking up our childhood with this one. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell a story real quick, right? When it came to the whole princesses in the Disney world, the last princess that they created was a black woman. That was Princess of the Frog, right? You had that Princess Jasmine, Arabic, Street Rat, Aladdin. You had Snow White. You had Rapunzel. You had all Ariel. You have all these different types, but the last princess that got created in the Disney world was a black woman, right? Somebody had made a comment. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He said, what if they took Princess and the Frog and made it a white woman? Would that have been a problem for y'all? And I said, and I told my friend, I said, yo, who said that? He was having a discussion with his friend. I said, look, if he doesn't pay attention to how they create these Disney characters, look at the location. You didn't create Mulan and had a white person in China and it has a Chinese zodiac and everything, right? You didn't do, they kind of culture depreciate where it will be fit the most, right? When you hear voodoo, Mardi Gras, you hear things of that nature, you think of Louisiana, right? I'm thinking of somebody cultural analog of Creole, black, or something of that nature. Shadow man, shadow work. We hear things that, you know what I'm saying, you would pick out to be an individual that is black. So when Princess and the Frog was created, I was like, it made sense for the character to be black. I don't know what's the idea or what's the problem was for that character not to be black. But, you know, I gotta digress right there just to kind of throw my thing up. Well, what do you think about it, right, man?
All right, quick commercial break. Be sure to tap into the YouTube. Follow us on IG, Talking That Talk Official Podcast. We have more content on YouTube as well. So going into the topic, man, I think it's bogus. I think it's bullshit. I think that we definitely have a race issue when it comes to these type of conversations, because what tends to happen is we can go back to the whole Barbie doll test, to where by the age of 5, if you know what I'm saying, have a black girl pick out a Barbie doll, most likely she'll pick the white one over the black one, right? Or also we could say by the age of 5, kids begin to between the ages of 5 and 7, your imagination is pretty much fully developed, and within that same particular time space, these kids already can kind of relate dominance and superiority to the white race versus the black race, even if they're all black or brown or whatever the case. So this takes place by Hollywood. It's engineered, right? So if we look at most of the superhero movies, these guys tend to be white, right? No matter what the geographical location is, right? If we talk about a movie like a samurai movie, right? Or something dealing with an ancient war in China, they'd be like a white guy that's the savior of the whole movie and shit, knowing that historically this couldn't have taken place. And we even do it with religion. You feel me? We take the story of Jesus. Some people call him Yeshua, Yahweh, whatever name we're going to go with. This person is often depicted as a white male, blonde hair, blue eyes, even though the scripture says hair of wool. You know what I'm saying? It gives these type of descriptions. And even if we go back into, once again, that location, Well, probably wasn't any white people around during that time period within that specific location.
Hmm.
So, and what kind of strikes me is, let's say, as black people, we like, okay, cool. We know dude is black. Do we change the image of the person in the churches, or do we keep a white image up? Because we could say,
Mm-hmm.
if we change them black, that'll make black people comfortable. But psychologically, going back to that 5-year-old, if that was your programming since 5 years old, when you develop your imagination and your concept of certain things, you're gonna feel uncomfortable by having a black guy on the wall being portrayed as Jesus. Within some churches, right? Now flip it. If it's not about race and none of this shit matters, do you think white people will go to a church with a black Jesus on the wall?
Mm.
It would strike something within them, and it'd be like, hey, something wrong with this. I'm not going to that church. I'm not going to support that religion. They would draw back. So I feel like when we have movies like this where the Little Mermaid character is black, black people should automatically go see that movie, stream it, put money into that project so that we can reciprocate these type of things, right? Keep this type of energy happening. When Black Panther came out, black people was packing out the fucking theater.
Mm.
Keep the same energy. When they make movies like Gods of Egypt and
Mm.
the
I was
gods
gonna
are
get on
white
that.
and the slaves are black, why go see that movie? You should feel just as disturbed as the white people feel about this whole Little Mermaid shit,
Mm.
right? And it's not just white people. I'm not sure who feels uncomfortable with it,
No,
but
it's
we definitely
not
have
just
to
why. Yeah,
keep
it's a
in
lot.
mind, right? The power of the dollar is what makes these issues more significant and relevant, right? So that's just my intro on that. A lot of people like to say that race doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, make more predominant figures on these movies, historical movies, Disney movies. Put more black people in them. If race is not the problem, if that's not the real issue here, that way we can't say nobody tripping. You know what I mean? And then my last point on that is we go to a character like Superman. We got this extraterrestrial being with superpowers from another planet, right? That gets his power and energy from the sun,
Mm.
which scientifically that would make him black. But hey, he's depicted as a white male. You know what I'm saying? So this is all done by Hollywood to make most of these predominant figures in Disney movies so that our children can relate this whole superior complex and everything to other races versus their own race, which will be us. So that's
Okay,
my
okay, okay. Something that just popped in my head. I don't. Do y'all remember the Cinderella movie?
mm-hmm.
With Brandy.
With
Brandy
Brandon.
was
Yeah,
actually live action Cinderella. She was
right.
the Black Cinderella, and that live action that received backlash itself, right? And
Pre-social
it's
media.
like social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's like anytime these characters are starting to become black, even though the directors go towards
Mm-hmm.
these actors themselves, like we
Mm-hmm.
want you to do this. We don't
Right.
care what nobody says. You're perfect for it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is like, no, you can't do that, right?
Right.
I made a little joke earlier, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems you can have racial discrimination in your own imagination.
Right.
It's an
Right.
imagination, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We look at certain characters online, you know what I'm saying? We have certain anime characters for us anime heads. We'll look at individuals and be like, nah, he black, right? One of the most characters we always say that's black is Piccolo. We like, nah, he black. We know that's a white voice actor, but if you pay attention to his character, we would be like, nah, man, he's definitely black. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes the greatest, even in situations like that in anime and certain cartoons, they'll
Mm-hmm.
do a disfiguration color
Mm-hmm.
of an individual and not give them the whole identity of who that character is really portraying.
Mm-hmm.
Who was Doug's best friend? Doug's best friend was Blue, right? Y'all remember Blue? Blue
Mm-hmm.
was black, but he was
Blue black.
that series.
Mm-hmm.
In that series, what he was just a blue guy. They'll do, like I said, they'll give you you know, say a different color instead of acknowledging what this character is portraying. You can tell from the way he dressed, he talked, the way the hairs on his head. Like, come on, man, it was all there. So I want to just be able to point that out. That look, your imagination is your imagination. What you want to bring to life, bring it to life. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let somebody tell you this makes more sense if it's this and that. Like live action, because like he said, I watched a lot of movies over the years.
Mm-hmm.
God characters, mostly white people. God characters, king characters, mostly white people, right? They either Greeks, Persian, Egyptian, and I'd be like, yo, some of this stuff really don't make sense if you go into history. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
have, like I said, the white savior, right? One of my favorite actors that are white is Matthew McConaughey, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played a certain role where he freed the slaves. He was one of the part of the rebellions that helped free the slaves. I'm like, yo, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? It's some of these live attributes when they do slave movies, they
Mm-hmm.
gotta throw it in there like, yo, but this white man cared to free these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep throwing out there was some type of savior that was the opposition, which I
Mm-hmm.
am going to also say, like, there was individuals that did side with the blacks. I'm not going to ever dismiss that. We had Asians, we had all of them. But what I'm saying is what they're depicting now is they got to throw something in there to make
Mm-hmm.
it look like, hey, we're not all bad.
Right. Taking it a little bit further, we got the movie, the Woman King movie, doing pretty great, solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm like 50-50 emotionally how I feel about the movie being projected. On the 50-50 scale, I'm for it because it gives you uh it shows you, like, when we talk about masculinity and femininity and this hierarchy, it shows you that historically within our culture, these type of issues didn't always exist the way they exist now. So we
Mm-hmm.
can see female warriors, females that was given a title king, right? Because that wasn't really based on the sex at that particular time period all the time. So these type of things actually happen historically.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the flip side, the issue is, why not make a movie about Mansa Musa?
The richest man
Hannibal
in the
Barker,
world?
right? Hannibal Barker, right?
Yeah,
Black man,
yeah, yeah.
conquered Rome in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? At a time where Rome was like the forbidden land of like war. You don't want to go to war with them. Definitely not on their home turf. He didn't defeat Rome somewhere else. He went to Rome and conquered Rome, right? So we have all these great stories of black men that existed throughout history, but they don't get a movie. You know what I mean? They don't get that type of recognition for the greatness that they stood for and represented. Why? Because a black boy is going to see that movie and have a connection to it
Mm-hmm.
and feel empowered by it. He's going to feel like, yo, I can go out and conquer some shit. I can go replicate that energy. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want that type of connection, right? But during a time where, you got feminism destroying the black community and other communities as well. It's not just us anymore.
Yeah,
This type
no.
of shit is widespread now.
It didn't
And I
hit. It
feel
didn't
like,
hit India like a plague field, bro. I'm
right,
watching it locked up left and right doing that shit, bro.
right,
It's crazy out there.
right. So I feel like that was kind of like a, a gift and a curse because, you know what I'm saying? You already have this energy where women are connecting with power and all these type of, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote masculine traits. And then you put out that kind of movie, but you don't put out the movie with the black men at the same time that can have women feeling like a little, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more out of their femininity and connecting with it on a different level. So like I said, I'm 50-50 with it. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I love it. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, do both. You know what I'm saying? Give these black men, you know what I'm saying, tell their stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that would fuck up society, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason why we don't see these superheroes and other people being black as much as we see the white people being portrayed in these movies. And even the movie is like, I love 300, even though I don't agree historically with how everything was portrayed. But if you didn't catch it, the army of the 300, right, were white males, all white. And then the Persians, which, you know what I mean, they kind of defeated up until a particular point, were dark skinned people, black, you know what I mean? They was portrayed as being weird, like that awkward, you know what I mean? Like their traditions and cultures weren't as solid as the people that played the, you know what I'm saying, the roles of the 300 men.
Mm-hmm.
So this is always going to happen throughout Hollywood. So I feel as though, once again, black people should support things that support the image of black people that we connect with and we portray and that we want, you know what I'm saying, our kids to connect with and see. Black Panther shouldn't be the only movie and role that we go pack out the theaters, and it gives us that feeling of us being superior. Because we have too many accomplishments throughout history to not see any of it displayed on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, no,
Okay.
you talk about the movie Woman King? No, I still haven't
Mhm.
watched it. I
Oh,
was I was doing a little
yeah.
research over the tribe though. They said the tribe was really ruthless.
Right. And then
Yeah,
we
go ahead.
talked about the land of Africa, and to really just dumb it down, with most people call it Kim, which would be the land of the blacks.
Yeah,
And so that means that any movie historically that would go back throughout a particular time of history, there should be predominantly black people within that movie, right? You shouldn't see this whole biracial shit going on. Or if you see like Egyptians portrayed in a particular movie, majority of them are white. You know what I'm saying? Being though they may not have any black people in that movie. So
Mm.
that's my close off on the race.
Okay. Like I said, I brought up the Little Mermaid.
Mhm.
That's the live action black movie. We had the Black Cinderella with Brandy. Um, During those movies, you have individuals that will be like, well, why did they make their own version of some of these movies? Do you feel like we should have changed some of the I guess change some of the story to make it fit more African or related to black individuals? Because at the same
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember Cinderella like head to toe. She still end up having the no, no, I take that back. No, I think she still end up having white parents in the live action. Could be mistaken. Let me check that out. I could be mistaken, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that, real quick? Like
But
they'll
the
change
answer,
the character, but they won't change the parents or the
mhm.
siblings around it.
Right. And to answer the question, we could make our own edifications and make our own movies are the same that would empower us, right? But the question is, would we pay to go see it as a collective group? Will we give it the same energy? And I can go back to like how people separate black-owned businesses from businesses, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
from other cultures and people, where black people would feel as though if they can if they can get a similar or the same experience from a black-owned business versus a business owned by somebody else from another race,
Hmm.
they'll feel more inclined to complain about the price at the black spot, but then go to somebody else's spot that don't look like them and then spend more money. So
Hmm.
these type of things tend to happen. So I say it goes back to culture. It goes back to how you're raised. Um, I feel like that's the foundation into making these projects successful. And then flipping it somewhere else, we have people like Michael Jai White,
Michael J.
black
White,
man, 6 feet tall, muscular build, 10 black belts and
ten
10
black
different
belts,
martial arts. Why doesn't he have action screen, action movie on the big screen? Not one,
just blood
right?
and bones. You got to go look that up.
And that wasn't even on the big screen.
No,
Based on he has a lot of movies that's quote unquote underground. You know what I'm saying? Straight to DVD type shit. But Hollywood has an issue with portraying these type of images,
mm.
especially the guy being a martial artist, which means in his movie he gonna be beating up some white guys, some Asian guys,
Look at
right?
everybody.
And historically, to be correct, we can't accredit martial arts to quote unquote uh, this yellow pigmented man, right? We have to also accredit that to the people of the darker hues, the black people.
Mm.
That's another story for a different time.
Right.
But it's an issue even within Hollywood, within the acting space, because once again, a black kid is gonna connect with that and feel empowered, right? I think the last action movie where you had like a black martial artist that was just whooping ass was probably Bruce Leroy. You know what I'm saying? And the whole show enough shit. That probably was the last one. And what happened? A lot of black people said, I'm gonna go learn martial arts now.
Mm.
Influenced the entire culture of black people to get their ass into these martial arts, right? So
Mm.
that's my answer to the question, and flipping it into something else. Like, how do you connect with the whole concept that we don't have black males in action movies being a hero or being that martial artist or whatever that's just a
Oh,
badass?
I feel like that's a whole different topic, but
It, can,
huh?
it connects in a sense.
In a
Yeah, what
sense.
you feel about that?
I mean, sure. You have to look at individuals who are actually black artists that are in martial arts. There's actually a black woman that's coming up real. Can't think of her name right now, man. She's like a black Afro samurai. I forgot her name on IG, but man,
Okay.
she's a powerful black woman. Like she's doing all these different martial arts styles. She's been getting known. She's been in music videos. She's starting to get a little bit of movie roles and stuff. Like really displaying martial arts as a black woman. Um, like I said, I don't know too many black males that's within that genre because in most hero theatric type of thing, when it comes to black males, it's not martial arts related. It's more military based related, right? You have a lot of military based things that are created for individuals to anybody can really connect. You had what's my guy name? My favorite guy, Denzel Washington. You had him in Enforcer. You know what I'm saying? He doing this thing in there. You had what's his name? Idris. I don't know.
I
I
was
can't. Iris Allen. He's in a whole different action movies as one of the black leaders. What is that? Kill Squad. What is it? Kill Squad. I forgot the name. His Squad. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, he's doing this thing as one of the leaders right there. But like I said, it's not necessarily hand to hand. It's more gun related. Like I said, gun related, military background type of stuff. But martial
Mhm.
arts, no, I don't see that as much.
Mhm. Cool, cool. Um, okay. Um,
Oh yeah, I meant to
one
say
thing.
too.
Yeah.
I just remember Brandy's Cinderella was very universal, right? Very diverse.
Mhm.
I just remember the prince was Asian. She had the fairy godmother was and she was black. You had what's her name? Will what's her name? Not Oprah, but the other lady that used to be on the View. Start with a W. Gilbert, Will, some Gilbert. She's on there too. She's like the mother of the prince. I was like, yeah, I just remember that was a really diverse Cinderella. So like nobody really could have got mad at that. That was a really diverse Cinderella live action. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so one thing that I did see on social media throughout this whole um process of Little Mermaid character being black was they showed a video of young black girls watching the trailer, and they became happy, excited. They was commenting. They was like, "Yo, she looks like me." And it was a beautiful video, right? Because something resonated within these black girls just by seeing that character. You know what I'm saying? Being a black woman,
Mhm.
and that was a powerful moment. You know what I'm saying? I know I brought up a lot of cons earlier, but I feel like that was one of the pros behind it. That little black girls felt a connection to the movie. They felt empowered. You know what I mean? They probably even felt more pretty or beautiful, whatever. I don't know. But it was just great to see them have that type of connection, being that it doesn't happen too often. So I feel like a lot of our children are robbed of those type of experiences when it comes down to Hollywood and watching these movies. Um, Even if we look at movies like Coco, uh, Canto, whatever, that's predominantly Hispanic, uh, we still don't see that darker hue of people in those movies as well. Yeah, I mean, so it happens on different levels. Well, you know what I mean? So uh, that's just something to throw out there. I feel like our children have the right to connect with Disney movies and superhero movies and see themselves within these movies and have that type of connection. So I feel like these movies should exist more often, most definitely. And we should actually support these movies more so than we support the other ones, just because. You know what I mean? So, Little Mermaid movie, if you got a black daughter, you know what I mean, especially under the age of 12, go take her to see that movie.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, this is definitely not a straight subject. I mean, if you feel like you spoke on the subject well enough, you end the show right then and there.
Cool, cool, cool. Hmm, I guess a question. Why do you think, as a race of people, that there are black people with the money to produce these type of films? You know what I'm saying? Jump out and make these type of things happen. Why do you think that this doesn't take place within our community of people that actually have the finances to make these type of movies and projects to where we can see more black people having predominant roles? that
No,
would affect our children specifically.
I mean, you got some of the top powerful like individuals that are enacting. I mean, it only takes a word. What you got? Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart. You got some of the most mongrels that can actually recreate. They got their own production companies too. At the same
Right.
time, but they rather speak. Everybody sticks to a specific niche.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to buy licensing rights and recreate some of the stuff that they have already been created and do it in a black image, I mean that'd
Mhm.
be cool too. But I don't know. I guess I'll say it like this: you have individuals that's really starting to shy away from the king and the queen type of talking lingo.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying. So we
Mhm.
still recreated things down the line where she's a princess, she's a queen, he's a king, he's a prince. It
Mhm.
doesn't really give people the reality of what reality really is.
Mhm.
So you have people that try to stay away from the imagination in order to give somebody a better reality. That's why I said
Mhm.
one of the things I liked about this Netflix series right now, Sandman. Right? This they said they kidnapped the Sandman and kept nightmares. Right? So Sandman was the dream giver, the good guy. And Nightmares was the bad guy. And I was like, damn, I never looked at it like that when I was a kid. But they was breaking it down on a different level. So
Mhm.
when you get rid of people's dreams, they only have nightmares and they're only be able to get hit with reality. So as I'm watching this show for young lady that was over, I was breaking it down to her. I was like, look, if you take people's dreams away, you take away the imagination. You take care of the imagination, people don't necessarily learn how to create and grow things on a different level. Because reality, everything is reality based. And nightmares are nothing but reality that they get hit that you get. I'm like, yo, this is some deep shit. But yeah, that's just one something I want to throw out there. That was some deep shit. Like when I was
Mhm.
watching that little series, though.
All right. Like, the last thing I'd say is going back to culture and just things I experienced. Younger
Look,
sister, he had that type of energy
all right,
to where
redo
he
that, brother.
bought.
You broke out for a second. Do you redo what you said?
All right, so just giving a personal connection to the whole episode broadcast. My father raised my sister in that particular fashion to where he only bought her black toys. Yeah, I mean, he really had that type of energy. Like, hey, your toys should look like you. Everything should look like you that you have. I'm not going to support you watching certain things and doing all these type of things. But what happened is we normalized us not having those type of roles and impact within Hollywood so much that it became the norm. So some children, even if you try to program them to kind of see it differently, society is saying, hey, that's not the norm. And sometimes your own family members will work against you because they feel more so connected to what the normality is. Or have that type of connections with your child. These type of perspectives when the normality is, hey, something's wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, so but I do feel like we are the only group of people that feel as though something is wrong with that. Majority of these other groups, they have a line, right? If we had, just going back to the martial arts perspective, if we had more movies where we had black martial artists whipping up Asians and Chinese people and shit, that would be a problem to that community. They will boycott the fuck out of that. They will go off on social media. We see it happening with the Little Mermaid movie. It would be some type of backlash, right? Um, that's going on right now. So I feel like we should not always be so politically correct, spiritually in tune, and not see these type of issues as being a problem. Some people, black people, get so spiritual that they begin to see race as a microcosm, right? To where they feel as though, oh, it's so small, it doesn't matter. It matters.
Everything
You know what I'm
matters.
saying? Capitalism matters. These type of issues matter. So shouts out to the parents that actually had these type of conversations with their children. Shouts out to the parents that try to emphasize black power and black superiority, whether it be through images of Hollywood movies, cartoon characters, whatever the case. We have more books now where you have black books for kids now, where it's like books like, hey, I love my afro, I love my hair. You know what I mean? We should buy these type of books for our daughters so that they can feel like there's nothing wrong with them having an afro. It's nothing wrong with them having locks. It's nothing wrong with them having curly hair, right? So we can't continue to complain about the problem and we're not doing nothing to solve it. You feel me? So we have to promote this type of energy amongst our own society and our own children, despite the backlash that we might receive from people that look like us. So that's all I got on that.
Oh man, I guess the last thing I'll close out is: did you not peep the memes that were
Mm-hmm.
coming out?
Yeah.
It started. That's how ugly this got, man. They had a meme war.
Mm-hmm.
They was recreating some of the black movies. They had Friday. They had Will Ferrell and what's my other guy?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man,
It's
yo,
true. It's
that's
true.
how ugly it
You
got
feel me?
over a Little Mermaid movie, man.
And prior to this, you know, I seen the memes where people was like, yo, 100 years later, they're gonna say they're gonna have the Malcolm X movie, and it was a white guy. You know what
They
I'm
got a
saying?
white guy like this.
You know what I mean? It was like 100 years from now, they're gonna say, hey, this person was white. We know the reality, but what do we do about it?
Sure.
You can't continue being fed by the system that's being corrupt and putting your dollars into the system. You only empowering the beast more so. So
Right.
your dollar matters, man.
Yeah, the dollar absolutely matters. If you keep putting it in the wrong pocket, I'm gonna beat your ass. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's all love over here, man. I only fight people I love, man. That's it. I Naruto niggas, bro.
And one thing I'll close off on.
God damn.
I don't watch too much TV, but we do have a show that was very it was a pretty good show. Lucifer had a good run, right? I wish. Yeah, so Lucifer had a pretty good run, right? And what fucked me up within this show, the guy that was portrayed as God, because God came to Earth and Lucifer was one of his sons, and that's
Yeah,
another story. I don't know how much y'all read and study, but God was black. It was the guy that played the State Farm commercials. I forgot his name, but
that's
he
all
was
state, man.
portrayed. Yeah, all
What's
State
his
Farm.
name?
Yeah,
Damn, I can't think of his name right
and they
now,
was
bro. I
him.
can't think of his name.
But
Like,
they gave him the role of God. Even if we look at, I think the movie with Jim Carrey, I
you got
believe
Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was portrayed as God. You feel me? So we do have some movies where these type of things happen, but you have a movie that's comical, and then you have a TV show entitled Lucifer, which probably a lot of people probably would be shied away from it. So it's not more so happening predominantly. But I just had to slide that in there. I just had to slide
Okay.
that in there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I was about to tell you earlier, man. They did have a Mesa Musa documentary. I don't know if you know that. They did hit the
Documentary,
Discovery
yeah.
Channel. But if a person, it's always a difference between hearing documentary and then a
And a
blockbuster.
movie.
It's
Right,
a different, it's different money that's poured into it. So,
right.
but
Cool,
I
cool,
guess we
man.
could open it up. You know what I'm saying? If anybody wants to come in, request, talk over the subject,
Yes, sir.
over the Little Mermaid. Let me go ahead and put it out there. Request to go live.
Yeah, we're gonna open it up for a few seconds, but most definitely, make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel, Talking That Talk Official Podcast, and follow us on IG for more content. So yeah, we're gonna open up the Q&As. For us to go live, we'll leave it up for about maybe 30 seconds, probably not even 4 minutes.
Well, didn't pop up. Shit, man. You know, I got a new phone, man. I'm acting super bougie now, man. iPhone 14, man. Let me tell you, man, I almost got in a car wreck today, bro. That shit tripped me out, bro. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place today, man.
No, you good, you good.
The dude came from the inside lane, and I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
outside lane trying to turn to hit the U-turn. I
Mm-hmm.
said, bro, what? And I had to turn. I had to make a U-turn just to prevent myself from hitting this person.
Damn, bro.
Crazy. Only way to get this work done, man.
That's how I be sometimes, man. Yes, sir.
All right, man. I think it's been about a good 30 seconds right now, man. Anything, I guess, man, what's your takeaway from the episode, man?
Hey, um, we should follow the energy, like I say. If other groups of people have problems with, you know what I'm saying, certain type of movies and TV shows being portrayed in a disrespectful manner towards their culture and people, we should follow that same energy. Stop being so supportive of everybody. Stop being so open-minded. Sometimes we got to see the world the way everybody else see it in order to compete and get ahead. You know what I mean? So I would just say, hey, but out of all this, like I said, if you have a black daughter, make sure you go see that movie. Make sure you take her to go have that experience. And we have to lobby and demand more of these type of things from Hollywood. If not, hey, fuck it. Stop going to the movies. Stop streaming this bullshit. Stop supporting it. I didn't go see Gods of Egypt. I felt very disrespected when they came out with that movie. They had a sci-fi movie about black deities that some of them actually existed. That that was the most disrespectful movie I think they could have put out at that particular moment. So that's my takeaway from it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, all right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your takeaway. Where can I reach us, man, before we shut down, man?
Find me in the hood, man.
All right, I'm gone.
Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. Talking that Talk official podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We out.
All right, y'all.